Phil from school, and welcome back to my channel where I discuss a variety of topics pertaining to film and entertainment. Today I'm going to be discussing the Bojack Horseman ending. So as many of you know, the Bojack Horseman series on Netflix recently concluded its last season, season 6. And it's the show, for those of you who don't know, is about anthropomorphic animals and humans. And the lead of the show is a horse named Bojack Horseman, and in the show he is an addict, a drug addict and an alcoholic addict, and quite honestly Bojack is just a total mess. He is totally lost in his life. He has no purpose since the show ended, so it's kind of a commentary on Hollywood and like how after fame, what do you do with your life? After essentially like you've peaked, what do you do? And you can really see Bojack grow over the 6 seasons. You're there for the ups and downs, the highs and lows of Bojack's sad little horse life. Along with the other characters, Diane, who's a personal favorite of mine, Todd, Princess Carolyn, and Mr. Peanut Butter. So overall, I think that the show is a really great series. It does a really great job about talking about addiction and depression and other mental illnesses. It quite frankly is so much better than the other stuff that Netflix did about, suicide. 13 Reasons Why. It's that god awful. Don't watch that. Please don't. But so now, a spoiler alert, if you have not watched season 6 of Bojack Horseman, you should leave, go watch that, but remember to save this to your watch later, or if you don't want to get spoiled, continue on, keep watching. So season 6, specifically with the last 2 episodes, it ties up the ending, like the ending is tied up so well of this series. I know there are tons of videos out there already analyzing and overanalyzing the end of whether or not Bojack is still alive, or what the true meaning of the end is, and I don't really think that it matters. It doesn't matter whether or not Bojack is alive or not. And I don't really mind if I know or not, because I don't think that's the point of the series. I don't care to know whether or not Bojack lives or not, because the whole point was to show this drug addict going through what he was going through, and to portray like what can happen if you let something like that overtake you. So let's go back to the beginning of season 6 so I can fully explain my point. So at the beginning of season 6, also towards the end of season 5, we see these reporters who are chasing Bojack, and they want to talk to him and interview him about what happened with in his past, specifically with Sarah Lynn and her overdose. So at first with the reporters, it made me sympathize with Bojack and the situation that he was going through and all the stuff that he was going through in his life, because it looked like he genuinely had his life together. He was doing good life. He was a professor of acting. Like, he had his life together, and it wasn't fair for these reporters to come in and ruin everything. And then I got angry at myself for having sympathized with this character who reconciles all the horrible things that he's done, especially with Sarah Lynn and Penny. What he did to Penny, or what he could have done to Penny, would have been absolutely terrible. And the fact that I was feeling sympathy for this character who had done all of these bad, terrible things to other people made me get really mad at myself. And then, after I stopped being mad at myself, I realized that, I was, in my mind, I had been comparing Bojack to Harvey Weinstein and all of the other people the Me Too movement and Time's Up have gotten out of Hollywood, and, you know, everywhere else. But all these are the people who are accused of doing terrible things and taking advantage of girls, because quite honestly, it's very similar to what Bojack does, and it really made me upset. So after thinking about it more, maybe that's what the show creators wanted me as in the audience, like, wanted all of us to think. They wanted us to be mad at ourselves for liking this character and not liking him, but also disliking the things that he does, and having, these two ideas like conflict each other and combat each other constantly. So I found a quote from the show creator, and he said that we are not afraid to go to those dark places and show people as they really are. And that really made me think. It made me really take the show and re-watch season 6 in a direction that I had not really seen it in. So even if it was not the intent of the creator, it ended up, for me, with my viewing and with my perspective, it ended up reconciling a lot of the evil that we see in the world. So it kind of made it to the point where I had mixed emotions, because I felt like the show was reconciling the evil of all of these people, but I also felt sympathy for Bojack, and all of these different emotions were just all going in my head. So I think that overall, that's what the show wants us to do. It wants us to have all of these feelings. It compels us to be more compassionate to each other. And most importantly, the compassion towards ourselves. Yes, Bojack messes up a lot, but we always end up seeing the good in him. And so does Princess Carolyn, and to an extent, even Diane. Even though Diane tried to stop being friends with Bojack because she knew that he was toxic in her life, she still sympathizes with him. She still feels bad for him. And she still knows that at his core, he's a good guy. But so that implores us to maybe see more of the good in ourselves. If Bojack can forgive himself and try to move on, then maybe we should too. So this brings me back to the second to last episode, which is the end where Bojack dies. And I know the second episode is where, like, he gets resurrected or whatever, like, he comes brought back from death. But honestly, I think that should have been the end for Bojack. I'm going to take it as that was the true ending for Bojack. So, overall, this show teaches us that we have a choice. We have a choice to either be Bojack, or we have a choice to be Diane. Bojack is not able to move on and keeps bringing himself back into this cycle of, perpetual drug addiction, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and overall just disregard for the people around him. Or we can choose to be more like Diane and, try, even though things have gone bad in our life, Diane wakes up every morning and makes the decision to try to be a better person. And yes, she does stumble. She does get off of her depression medication, but she surrounds herself with people that genuinely care about her and that want to see her succeed. And yeah, she had to cut out Bojack, even though she clearly loved him and clearly, wanted him to be a better person, but she had to, for her own sake. So we can let our problems consume us or make the decision to keep moving forward. And that is exactly what Diane does and what Bojack ultimately doesn't do. Like Diane says at the end of the show, sometimes life's a and then you keep living. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like my content, and especially if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, if you agree or you disagree, you have any other comments about Bojack or this series as a whole, please put that down in the comment section. I am so happy to read whatever you put in the comment section. Yes, to the person that wrote about Gatsby. I will get on that. See? Sometimes if you comment things, I might actually put some effort into it. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!